If you worked a traditional cast on and a regular bind off for your mystery cowl, then you, my friend, are going to be seaming your cowl together to close it. So you're going to flip your cowl to the wrong side so that the right side, when we fold it in a moment, will be facing. So right now I'm looking at the inside of my cowl. I'm going to fold the edges in and then turn my cowl so that my seam, the place that I'll be seaming, is sitting in front of me horizontally, like so. The next thing I'm going to do is determine which of these two tails is longer. That will be the one I'll be seaming with. And I'm going to thread that tail onto my tapestry needle. Quick note about the tapestry needle. I like to use a bent tip tapestry needle. That way I can scoop my fabric much more easily as I seam. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of seaming. With the right side facing, we're going to be seaming the horizontal seam here of the cast-on edge to the bind-off edge. And we're going to be working back and forth between the two sides, starting on the right edge and moving towards the left. I'm going to begin here at the top of my work because my yarn is attached at the bottom of the work, and I'm going to dive my needle under the very first stitch on the top of the work on the right hand edge. Then I take my needle and I'm diving into the very first stitch at the bottom edge. So you can already see I've connected the top to the bottom. I then am going to dive under the second stitch at the top edge and then the second stitch at the bottom edge. So I'm going back and forth between the two sides, scooping up at the top a stitch that looks like a little letter V, as in victory. Okay, that's what we're scooping up on the top. And on the bottom, you'll get a nice seam if you pick up a stitch that looks like a little letter A, as in apple. Right there, it's a little tricky to see it because we had our increases and decreases for the bias right in that section, so just do your best. Here, the V is great, that's visible. And now we can finally see those A's again. Right there is the A. So a stitch that sort of points towards the seam is what you're looking for on each side. A V at the top and an A at the bottom. And you're just going to keep going, picking up one stitch after another. Don't skip anything and don't go backwards. You'll notice I'm keeping a bit of a loose tension or a loose space between both sides of my seam here on the right. The reason I do that is so that I can see where I am going and where I've come from. So it's easier to see what my last stitch was if the stitches are nice and open and loose like this. And then I'll close it up in just a moment, but I like to go about an inch or two, maybe 3 inches before I tighten my seam. And I'm getting close to that now, but you can see that nice open stitching makes it so that I can really see that I've been picking up every stitch one after another. I haven't skipped anything, and I haven't gone backwards or made any knots. All right, so after you've gone a little bit, you're going to pull tight. So all of those open stitches are now closing up. There's my beautiful seam. And in order to figure out where I go next, since it's so tight here, I'm going to just loosen up the last stitch like that. And that will help me get my bearings again as I continue seaming towards the end of the row. So you're going to keep seaming in this way, diving in on the top of the fabric and scooping up a stitch, and then popping back up to the top of the fabric, going horizontally, keeping your tapestry needle parallel to the seam. Continue that until you get towards the end. I'm nearly at the end of the work. I'm going to continue taking my stitch from the top and from the bottom, alternating the two, V on the top, A on the bottom. And since we have this really pretty I-cord edging, what I'm actually going to do is continue the seam all around that I-cord. So I'm still going. I'm going to go until I get to the end of the I-cord. And then I'm almost going to kind of turn the fabric so that I'm looking at the inside of the cowl, because technically that I-cord goes inside. It's meant to sort of curl around towards the inside and look like a little piping at the edge. So I've got my seam, and now I'm going to take right at the very bottom at the curl for that lower piece of I-cord. That way it curls over to the side. Then I'm going to pull my seam a little bit open just to give it a little elasticity. Since we knit this piece on the bias, we want it to be extra flexible. I'm going to turn my piece to the wrong side and weave the tails right into the seam. Knitters often ask me what the inside looks like on a seam. This is it. It's pretty smooth and even. Yes, there's a seam here, but it's pretty. It looks good on the outside. It's nice and smooth on the inside, and it's a great place to hide your tails. So you can trim your tails to be the same size and then just weave them right into the seam itself, and you've got yourself a fabulous cowl. Happy knitting!